For God loved the world, so loved the world. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. That's in John chapter 3, verse 16. What brought me to Johnston, Rhode Island today? I'm on the majestic lake in Johnston, Rhode Island. I had a strong prompting yesterday to reach out. Oh, hello. Sorry. You never know what happens when you're on Instagram Live. But I had a strong prompting to reach out to a friend that I've known for almost 15 years. And she is not a member of our church, but she was at my baptism. And I found out that she's selling her house on the lake. And her husband and her are getting older, and it's harder for them to maintain it. They live in Florida. They have a house in Florida. And she was brought to tears last night when I said I could get members of the ward in the local area to come and help, because they have a 11-bedroom house, or a huge house with all these bathrooms and an in-law apartment, and she needed help. So today I came and helped her, and I haven't seen her in 2 years. And how did I meet my friend Janet DeLeo? I met her when she was one of the first millionaires in Herbalife. She knows everybody that is into network marketing. And she was my mentor when I was doing professional network marketing. And I have spent many summers on this island with her. And she has saw the old side of Dennis. She said today, in the last 5 years, you have changed so much. And we started to share a tear. But what happened was, as we were cleaning out, I found this booklet and I recognized it. And I says, I've never seen it before, but I just knew it was churchy. And so I found this card in here that people fill out. And it's a booklet. And I saw right in the back, and I said, Janet, how did you get a booklet from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? And she says, well, she goes, I know so many people in Utah. You never know. But it's from 1980. And she let me have it. And it even has in here that it pays postage, that you can fill out this card and submit it to the church and meet with the missionaries. But there is no such thing as, I'm speechless. So I feel that there was a reason for me to come here and for me to organize. So I'm going to contact the bishop in the area and find out who the Elders Quorum president is and the Relief Society president, and see what we can do to get people to help, because she's got to be out of here by August 8th. The house is sold. It's a cash offer. And I just know that she can't move 75 years of her life without help. And I apologize, it's really windy. Did not expect to go live. But again, I'm on the lake. So I really apologize if there's a lot of wind. But the fact that she needed help but didn't want to ask, I said, Janet, don't be prideful. I said, don't be prideful. I reminded her of a talk that was given at my baptism. And let me know if it's too noisy. If you give me a bunch of red hearts, I'll be able to see those. Or send me a private message. If it's too windy, good to see you doing more, my friend. It is. It really is. But I feel bad that it got so windy. Just look I'm sweating like crazy. Wow, the Lord will provide. Janet is loved. Yes, she is. Janet DeLeo she's blessed my life with motivation and inspiration, and we have done many trips together. But the fact that she was willing to fly out to Utah, and there was over, 150, 200 people at my book launch, in August 13th, 2019 in Orem, Utah. Imagine being the only non-member and a Catholic in a room of 200 people and she's Catholic, and she's the only one that's a non-member in that room. She came to support me. So we need to support others, and it reminds me of doing membership service and sharing. I shared a video in my reels, or my stories when I was driving here. You gotta follow those promptings. If you feel that somebody needs something, if you feel that your neighbor needs a meal, don't ask. Just cook it and bring it over. If you feel that a friend is struggling or could use some help, just do it. Don't question it. There's a story of when I was leaving Utah after spending 4.5 months on a prompting to be out there. Somebody reached out to me and said, we want to buy you AAA, or is it AA? One of those for your car. Do you have it? And I says, no, I don't. And I was really nervous about driving from Utah back to Connecticut. The next day, somebody else sent me a text and said, this is going to sound weird, but I want to give you $500 because I have a feeling that you may not have enough money to get back to Connecticut. And that difference, they Venmo'd me. And it meant the difference between sleeping in a hotel or sleeping in my car. It meant a big difference. So today, coming to Rhode Island and helping Janet, and those of you, I have about 34 or something unread text because I even wasn't opening my iPhone. I just was letting it sit there. So if any of you are on that have my private cell phone, please know that I will get back to you later tonight when I get back to Connecticut. Because, yeah. And 34 texts are a lot. Well, holler. So yeah, I just felt that prompting to go on and share this message about my friend Janet DeLeo across the other side of the river, or the lake that I'm at, or pond, or I think it's a lake. It's huge. It's the largest lake in Rhode Island. And she is an ally to members of the Church of Jesus Christ. And she's actually flying out to Utah next year. And we're going to have a party with my friends that, Janet, Alan, the people, the 4 owners of the company that brought me to this gospel, and their wives. And, it has me speechless, which is the importance of following those promptings. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing this pass-along card and reading this from 1980. How cool is that? I mean, that's like 1980. This is going to be really cool. And this is how we used to do outreach to bring people to the gospel. And if you hadn't seen it, she had this, and it was paid postage right here to send that in to meet with the missionaries. And this goes right to Salt Lake City. That is so cool. From 1980, this was published with the church, and she had it, and she gave it to me. But, all right, I'm going to read your comments, and I'm on my little iPhone, so I apologize. And I'm really dry for whatever reason, so just give me a minute to drink some water. I have never sweated so much in my life, but that was because of all the boxes I was moving and the books I was packing up, and and just it was good cleansing for the pores, I guess. So I have a private message. It says, do Mormons have their own special Mormon holiday? Or yes, we do. Or do they just celebrate holiday? Yes, we do have a separate a special holiday that's coming up. It's very near and dear to my heart. It's just like July 4th, but to me it represents, it's called Pioneer Day, and it's in a few weeks, and it represents the fact that the pioneers were able to, they were persecuted, and they took them almost a year to go from east to west, because the prophet Joseph Smith at the time felt that members of the church needed to flee and leave the country because of all the persecution and the hatred, and the men were being killed. People were targeting us. Other religions were targeting us because they were fearful of something that, when people know that the church is true and that the gospel of Jesus Christ is changing lives, it's going to make people do stuff that's not good, just like the stuff that's going on in the world today with the 4th of July and all the people not wanting to celebrate it. Well, so Pioneer Day is to celebrate all the pioneers. It's actually a paid holiday in Utah. It's to celebrate all the pioneers. Even myself, I'm anybody who joins the church is a pioneer. And because you are joining a family, and you become part of a group, if you may. So it's a special, but they host parades and fireworks, and Pioneer Day is huge in Utah, and they have parades, and people dress up like pioneers, and from the early 1800s. It's my all-time favorite holiday in the world. So thank you for sending me that private comment. And we'd be happy to answer any of your questions about the church. But we celebrate Christmas because we celebrate the life of Jesus Christ. And we celebrate the fact that we celebrate Easter because we celebrate that Christ gave his life for us so that we could have eternal salvation. Just like I read in John chapter 3, verse 16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Because we believe in eternal life, and that you could be sealed to your family for eternity. And so I pray that I was able to answer your comment. If you have any more, please post it in the comments. And there are 31 people on here that would be more than happy to answer what your questions. And their question was, do we have our own holiday? And so I shared about Pioneer Day, and that's for anybody that is just joining. Okay, so I'm down at the bottom. Hey, Angela, how are you? My friend Angela in Oklahoma. If you haven't seen the video I posted, it's about her son, and she's the stake president's wife that I wrote about. Angela, I got to tell you a funny story. Well, I did a typo in that, but people know what I meant. But I did something even funnier, and it almost went to press with this, or on Instagram. And I'm like, oh no, I can't have that. It said, Angela and her 7 husbands walked into the kitchen. And I said, 7 husbands? How did that get in there? Like, 7 husbands, President Perkins, and it was, or no, Hopkins. And I said, oh my heavens, if I would have posted that she had 7 husbands, that would have been really bad. So, but I knew you would get a kick out of that. I saw a text from you, and I'm going to try to maybe call you when I'm driving back, because I have an hour and a half drive to get back to Connecticut. So our friend NAFAS._.72 says, hi, well, holler back. And I think you were the one that may have asked me the question if Mormons or members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints believe in or have their own holiday. And that's where we shared about Pioneer Day. So I should show you this beautiful lake too, by the way. I'm going to turn it around while I answer your questions. Get you off my selfie lamp. Oopsie daisy. Okay, so my friend Janet lives over there, which is right through there, and we would have fireworks. They would have every 4th of July, they would have huge fireworks festivities. And she has a peninsula on that island, which is right there, and her house is way back there, but that's all of her property. But it's gone. And then over here is a little bridge, and we would take the kayaks or the paddle boards. She has a bunch of them, and we would actually go under this little bridge right here and then come out over here. I'm not sure how the angling is going to be with the sun, but it's pretty cool. So again, I'm going to leave you with the testimony of following the promptings, and that's a little bridge that we would come out from under. And pray that I don't drop my iPhone. But look at the sunset. Look at how gorgeous that is. Well, the sun. And I love all the I love the fact that there's flags everywhere. Everybody's flying their flag to show the American freedom that we have, even though people don't want to believe that we should celebrate the holiday, which is just ridiculous to me. It tells me now more than ever that we do need the gospel of Jesus Christ, and we need to have a living prophet and an apostle called of God, because things are a mess. Things are a mess out there, and I'm just gonna leave it with that. Okay, let me get to your comments. Hello, Books, Birds. I love your screen name. Okay. Oh, Lori. My friend Lori in Adams, Massachusetts says, hi from Lori and Josh. Well, holler back. I'm in Johnston, Rhode Island. So if anybody knows anybody in the Scituate ward, I know the bishop's name is Bishop Bilodeau, and I have his number somewhere. But I need to get some service. I want to do a service project here. Sandy says, thank you for all of your service. Are you kidding? You got to follow that prompting. You got to follow it. Delivery, and says, bless you, Dennis. She can see your light. Yeah, she can. She witnessed some pretty scary things of myself, me being an embarrassment. I wish I was almost able to get a video with her today of talking about the difference and what it was like when she saw my conversion to the gospel, and her husband drove an hour and a half to attend my baptism. But it wasn't appropriate. You know, she was sweating and exhausted, and I just didn't feel right. So again, you got to follow those promptings. EDICL says, you're her light to the gospel. Oh, no, we all can be that light. The Scituate, Rhode Island ward can be that light. The members in this area can be that light. But most importantly, Christ can be that light. LISAE says, hi, Joshua. Well, hello back. Well, I'm Dennis, but he's talking to a friend, Joshua, that's on. TOMI_T says, good to see you doing more good, my friend. Absolutely. I love doing service. And you know, this was a prompting to go on and share this, because I usually don't talk about when I do service projects, because I don't want it to come across as being prideful. Lori in Adams, Massachusetts says, with her son is on, wow, the Lord will provide. Janet is love. That's awesome. Thank you. Sue says, I can hear you. Thank you. Can still here even with all the wind. I have a special microphone to stop that, but I didn't think of bringing it today. I mean, I was doing a service project. Hello, holler. BZ.LIEBER says, "Hey Dennis, thanks for having so much interest in Judaism. 2, I enjoyed your story. Wow, I didn't know I was, so I have, I think I told you, oh, you were the one that asked the question and I told you I went to a Jewish synagogue several times. I told that story. Yes, I still have to upload that to YouTube. EDIE says, I used to be Catholic. Oh, holler. And she is going to join because of you, Dennis. Well, it would be her and her husband, which is cool. That would be a blessing. That really would. Your light is her guide to the gospel. Yeah, I'm going to be fasting on this one, boy. Lori in Adams says, true, just do it, and if you don't have extra food, there is here hope. Okay, I think I got it to all the comments. Let me see. And then we'll close. Oops, wait. I have so many whoopsie daisies. Hey, DELIVER bought me a badge with 3 hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That will all go to missionary service. You're the best, Dennis. Well, I think you're pretty swell as well. My friend BEZ who is of the Jewish faith said, I asked a question with the question function. I don't know what that. Lori in Adams, Massachusetts said, the miracle around the blessings. Hold on, I gotta adjust this selfie lamp here. Sorry, it's so wobbly. It's so tiny. Oops, I could lose the whole phone here. The miracle around the blessings. The phone's already been overboard anyway. It's been in the ocean several times. You can't make this stuff up with me attached to it. The miracle around the blessings are there. We just saw an outpouring of love from Michelle's and T's department leaving the world. DT department worldwide. It was so humbling as the Spirit is moving others. We see the love and love it. LISE says, that looks so cool. You know what? I gotta sit down. Okay. I couldn't squat that way for too long. Our friend BZ says, if there is a question you can't answer, that's fine. But how come I see Jesus as a white guy in Mormon media? I thought he was Middle Eastern. Well, okay, so I don't really have a full answer to this, but I will tell you, I don't have, I do have some pictures at home that are showing him more Middle Eastern-ish, I guess. But please don't quote me on that. I don't have them here. You know, I really, okay, so let me show you something here. Look at this. Let's see. He looks to me right there in this pamphlet from 1980. He looks more Middle Eastern to me. I don't know. That's just my opinion. So let me see if I can find another picture of Jesus. Oh, here. Yeah. Here's a great example. See? He looks, yeah, that's not, but do we, yeah, so I hope I was able to answer your question, because I'm not an expert in this stuff. I'm not a BYU professor. So I pray I was able to answer. Okay, so I think, okay, we have a lot of waves. Let me just, Sandy in West Jordan says, absolutely beautiful. If I'm skipping over somebody, I apologize. It's just because if you're saying hi in the comments. My friend Lori says, go and do. See the beauty of the world around you. The gospel is true. This beauty is great, isn't it? And our friend LISAE says, I know the bishop in the ward, Bishop Bilodeau. Yes. So I'm going to, if you know anybody on Johnston Lake, it'd be great. I can just trying to think how I can get you her address and number, because she is expecting somebody. Okay, Graham 22 says, thank you for ministering to me today, Dennis. I wish I lived close by to help your friend. God is in the details of our lives. We serve where we are planted. That is so true. That is so true. Lisa, I don't even have my iPad with me to take a picture of, I'm just going to try it. It's LISAGGS, and I'm going to watch this later and try to reach out. Okay. So Lori says, what a special lady in Adams, Mass. Let's see if I can get through these, because I really need to start driving home. I've got a good hour and a half drive. Lori says, Jesus' pictures were done from artist's view of him. That's so true. And that goes back to our friend that's of the Jewish faith. And he asked a question earlier about Jesus. So ITSMY says, I'm not Dennis, but those are my thoughts on white Jesus. Okay. So then we ended up answering that. Art tends to reflect the culture it's created in. Okay. Well, I'm not an expert on that. My friend, I am not an expert. And trust me when I say, I have seen, we are a diverse church. We are in every part of the world. We're even building a temple in India. We are in, we have, I think, of almost 20 temples in Africa alone. I mean, there is just South America. We have temples, so many temples in South America, and so many more being built. Mexico City, Guatemala, they're all over. We have, temples are in every part of the world. Hawaii, the Polynesian Islands, the Philippines, Asia, everywhere. So we can't judge we just need to have faith. Okay, Lorian says, gotta go, but drive safely. DM me sometimes. Hugs. Love you. ITS says, there are many portraits of the nativity in traditional Asian, African, and European context, despite the fact that it actually took place in the Middle East. I don't have an answer for that, my friend. I'm not a BYU expert, and I just have to say I know I have a strong testimony. Sandy says, I can take a picture. Thank you. And our friend ITS says, this isn't to pretend Jesus wasn't Middle Eastern, but seeing him in different cultures context can be helpful for, well, so again, I don't have the answer. I don't know. Do we really know what Jesus looks like? No, right now, no. So I can't. I thank you for your inquiry, but the best response that I could have to you is you'd have to reach out to local missionaries in your area. Go to comeuntochrist.org and click Study with the Missionaries for free. And they can teach you. They are set apart to do this. I'm not. They hold the stewardship to do that. And just, let them share, teach that, the gospel to you, and know and ask for yourself. James 1:5, any of us lack wisdom, let us ask of God. And I know this gospel is true. And that Jesus, we're going to return home to him someday. And I want to experience the blessings of living in the celestial kingdom and having eternal life and being sealed to my family. I say that again as my testimony in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. And you also says, ITS said, sorry, all my comments were meant to be one compliment, though, but it's hard to put it into one comment. I get it. And that's why I felt the prompting, brother. I'm going to turn this around. I want you to see my face. That's why I felt the strong prompting to actually to answer. Because sometimes as I'm reading the comments, it turns out that they are anti-comments. And then I'm like, whoops, did I just stop reading it? But I felt that I needed to answer yours because I literally looked up at the Spirit and I'm like, Spirit, I need you. Do I continue reading your comments? And the Spirit said, continue reading your comments. And go with that Spirit and go and do. And I think that's interesting that I have a pamphlet from 1980. Oops, I'm putting it on the other side. From 1980 with Jesus, looking more Middle Eastern, answering your questions. So I plead with you, go to the link that they shared, comeuntochrist.org, and just study with the missionaries. We don't bite. We don't. And if you're not interested, it's not our goal to get you baptized. I got to tell you, I've actually deterred people because you are making covenants with Christ. And if you're not willing to follow those covenants, I don't want you to break them. That's why I have deterred people from joining and said, I don't think this church is for you at this point in life right now. Let's revisit it in a year or so. So, and my friend, I pray that touched you. And oops, sorry, I'm trying to scroll down to the comments. Those of you who are new that just logged on, I was doing a service project in Rhode Island today. EDIE says, thank you for your testimony, Dennis. Absolutely. Are you kidding? I have to. I cannot survive, especially in the latter days. I forget what's that quote by President, our prophet, that we can't in the coming days, we cannot feast or survive without feasting on the gospel. So, all right, I've answered all of your questions. Thank you for watching me this windy time, and that you were able to enjoy the lake in Rhode Island and hearing about what prompted me to come here and the blessings that it's done. Have an awesome day. I love you, and most importantly, so doesn't Jesus Christ. And I'm going to say bye for now. And then EDIE says, be careful driving home. I will. I'm probably going to pull over It's a beautiful, and you know what? I want to close this with this facing the other way because I don't want to always look at myself. So, yeah, but just look at all those American flags representing freedom and the beautiful lake in Rhode Island that I'm on. And you guys all mean the world to me. Have an awesome day or night, wherever you are.